Okay. And so how did that dissolve? Or did it just because of the traveling and the kids, it just kind of, it got less and less time to go to the study? Or just, you just one day just said, I'm not growing here, and you moved on?
No, it was over a Purim. I wouldn't call it a service, but get together.
Okay.
And they played this YouTube video where this rabbi basically explains that Queen Esther had the year 1946 in little tiny letters written in the scroll, and she had asked for two sets of poles. And the second set of poles just so happened to be, I think it was 10, like Haman's sons. And then during the Nuremberg trials, there were exactly 10 Nazis that were hung in
Right. Right.
1946. And so
Right.
it started to get into this, like, where the descendants of Amalek went to, and it turned into kind of a genealogy conversation. But it took a wrong turn, because then I was told that Ashkenazi Jews are not really Jews. They are like this theory of Khazarian,
Mm. Mm.
where they're a
Okay.
bunch of like Turkish converts.
Yeah, I ain't
And
heard that one.
yeah, it wasn't great. And something in me just became instantly infuriated. I'm very protective over my friends and family, and it just felt wrong what they were saying. It wasn't right. It felt anti-Semitic. And you have to remember that I had been a victim to anti-Semitism as a kid, being a
Right. That's
product
what you
of,
were saying. Yeah. Right.
yeah. Well, because like when I was a little kid, I'll give you an example. I came home one day and I said, "Mom, why are the kids calling me a kite? Why am I a toy?" She goes, "Sweetie, they're
Oh,
not calling
wow.
you." She goes, "They're not calling you a kite. They're calling you something else." I thought they were saying kite, like the flying toy, because
Right. Right. Well, you're just a child.
I didn't hear
Yeah.
him correctly. And
Yeah.
so I'm very protective over my family, very sensitive to anti-Semitic comments, and I felt like that was in that realm.
Well, you sound like to me, just by having this conversation, it's not just Semitic remarks. It's anybody who has any prejudice. Seems like it doesn't settle good with you, no matter what culture or background you are.
That's true.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's absolutely true. Um, but it was a little bit more personal than that. It felt like an attack on my family. Because when he forgot that when he says stuff like that, it's not just Jews as a category. He's talking about my Zadie. He's talking about where
Mm.
my mother comes from. He's talking about my family. So I stormed out of
Did he
there.
know that about your background
Oh yeah,
before this?
'Cause- yeah.
And
Because
he did
remember,
this anyway?
oh yeah, remember when he introduced me to the first congregation he and I both attended? He introduced me as she's from the tribe of Judah, so
Yeah.
he knew. And
Hmm.
but I I was so upset that night I actually like woke up in the middle of the night and I prayed for forgiveness. I was like, I don't know if I'm the one that's wrong here or what I'm feeling, because I felt guilty for being so mad. But
Right.
I
For letting
just
yourself get that angry. Yeah.
right, but I prayed to Hashem and I was like, help me figure this out. Help me figure it all out. I need your help, please. And whatever your will, just let it be done. Whatever that means, even if that means that I don't have a congregation at all anymore. Like, I don't care. I can't stop. I got to this place where I didn't want to hold back anymore. So that was it. I dove in and I was so mad. And I just kept researching and researching and researching that between Purim and the counting of the Omer, I figured out all of it was a farce.
Hmm. Did you ever speak to the leadership again at that congregation and let them know how that made you feel, or did you just cut ties?
No, I tried to talk to them during that process.
Hmm.
And he was it was very strange. He was just as annoyed with me as I was with him. So he was annoyed with me for having an issue with that concept.
He was ignored for you being upset. That's what
for having an issue with it. Yes, with that concept, and it was almost unnatural. Like I didn't understand it. It was just like the relationship burst into flames.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of ego-driven psychology going there. Between here I'm the leader, and anything I say, I don't know why you're taking it personal because it's just the truth. That's what it sounds like to me. And right. I've run into that a lot and I'm not going to keep saying. All I've been exposed to is Christian. I come from a Christian background, so I can only speak of that, and that was prevalent within that in that part of my life, in that setting. So yeah. I understand it.
Well, and I also think that sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, I think Hashem micromanages our life, and I think that He moves us and places us exactly where we're supposed to be. And when things like this happen, I know that heaven's involved in it. So this relationship probably had that extra level of turmoil to it because that's how it was supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to make amends and return there.
Right.
There was supposed to be friction, so I wouldn't return there.
Absolutely.